You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Let's do it. Yesterday, and Rhodes actually covered this on the Black and White Live channel. Didn't Bruce Arians say that that wide receiver? Man, I'm just drawing a blank right now. Antonio Brown, my goodness. Didn't he say Antonio Brown was no longer a member of the Buccaneers? Didn't he say that?
I cut his ass, except I didn't.
Except Antonio Brown is still a Buccaneer.
What?
Technically.
What?
He's still a Buccaneer.
Not only that, but he and I'm sure we'll get to this, but I'm just going to throw it out very quickly. He's now directing the questions about AB's status to the general manager.
It's weird.
Wait a minute.
According to the reports, he told Antonio Brown, you were off the team on the sideline. And then in the press conference, he said he's no longer a Buccaneer. But yet now he is still a Buccaneer. Now he's deflecting questions and the decision to the general manager. Also, the NFL is involved too now. This is weird.
I called that. Remember yesterday on the show, I said, now that he's mentioned an injury, the NFL will get involved in some way, somehow. And here we are. The NFL is involved. Yep.
Now, I will say this. Either way, no matter how you look at it, I believe Antonio Brown, he is done as a Buccaneer.
I agree. I agree.
But will he be suspended or will he be cut? I just don't get this.
Well, they want to suspend him now because they're afraid he's going to sign with a playoff team they might have to play.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at...
That's really a thing.
Let's go ahead and look at what I believe it was Florio, right? That actually wrote this. Buccaneers did not cut Antonio Brown today. Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians said after Sunday's game that Antonio Brown is, quote, no longer a Buck, but officially he is. The Buccaneers did not cut Brown today, and there are ongoing discussions with the NFL about how to handle the matter, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. Now, he tweeted that out, that Antonio Brown was not cut. It's possible that the team would prefer that Brown be suspended rather than released for taking off his jersey and walking off the field during Sunday's game against the Jets. If Brown does get cut, he would go on waivers where the 31 other teams would have the opportunity to claim him. If he passed through waivers, he would then become an unrestricted free agent, and a team could sign him for the final game of the regular season and the postseason. Arians made clear that Brown is done playing for the Buccaneers, but it remains to be seen whether he'll have the opportunity to catch on with someone else in the upcoming weeks, and whether any team would want the talented but troubled Brown if he becomes available. So, if Antonio Brown is cut, Antonio Brown could theoretically get with another team and possibly win a Super Bowl. And Rhodes is speculating, maybe Jerry Jones would do it because the Cowboys have lost Michael Gallup for the rest of the season. That's real. And the Cowboys are a pretty good team. They're my team, and I've lost so much confidence in their offense. Zeke is washed up. Dak really has not been the same, and they didn't do nothing against the Cardinals. I don't care about that final score. They were dead in the water in that game.
Well, number one, we talked about the Michael Irvin thing in the past. We talked about Terrell Owens. But the one we didn't mention, and this is a big one. Actually, there's two, but there's one in particular that is like blinking Eat at Joe's Diner sign, neon sign. Jerry's the one that signed Greg Hardy.
True. And I didn't like that signing.
Well, I don't think anybody liked it, but the point was Jerry made it clear he's pretty much win at all cost. he also signed Aldon Smith. Okay. There is precedent from Jerry Jones to do something like this. And one of the things I got into when I started looking at Michael Gallup versus Antonio Brown has outplayed Michael Gallup this year in fewer games. And so they, technically speaking, let's say nothing's wrong with Antonio Brown's ankle. Let's say that's just
Okay.
that ankle's good. He could go in, get on the field for Dallas right away. He is an immediate upgrade to Michael Gallup walking on the field. The numbers speak for themselves. Gallup has played in more games, has 100 less yards, has two less touchdowns, and about seven less catches this year than Antonio Brown on 2 full less games played. Antonio Brown's an upgrade over Michael Gallup. And the one thing I will say, the one thing I think everybody knows, Jerry wants to win another one at all cost before he leaves this planet. Okay.
Yeah, Jerry's going to be 79 years old this year.
Yeah.
He's desperate.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
To me, honestly, being a Cowboys fan, I think Jerry needs to turn over the reins to Stephen Jones completely. Now, Stephen is involved in a lot of things, but Jerry is still the general manager. And over the past 25 years, what has been the one consistent thing with the Cowboys? Jerry Jones.
Yep.
Hate to say it, man, but it is true.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry gets a lot of credit for hiring Jimmy Johnson, but he also gets credit taken away for prematurely blowing that situation up.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and things have never been the same since Jimmy Johnson got walked out the door. I mean, they got that one Jimmy Johnson / Barry Switzer Super Bowl in there.
True. That team was loaded.
That team was loaded, and it was loaded because of Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Since then, it hadn't happened. And we was talking about disgruntled receivers. Des Bryant was disgruntled a lot too. So there is an absolute precedent for the idea that the Dallas Cowboys would take a look very seriously at somebody like Antonio Brown if he all of a sudden hits the market and they're staring in the face of having to play the Buccaneers, having to play the Rams with Cooper Kupp and all those weapons, are playing the Packers and Devontae Adams, et cetera, et cetera. Zach Gregg's got a pretty decent idea in the chat. Tom Brady ought to sign Larry Fitzgerald. That's not a bad idea, actually. He was still pretty productive without, I bet you he still got a little something he could give the Buccaneers.
And he's not a head case either. He's not a diva wide receiver.
One of the highest integrity guys that's ever played in the NFL. Yeah. Absolutely. You're right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, me being a Cowboys fan, do I want to see Antonio Brown on the Cowboys? Hell no. Why? Cowboys have no leadership. None. I mean, even Tom Brady couldn't keep Antonio Brown in check, really. And him and Tom Brady are pretty good friends. Who is the leader on the Cowboys, especially on offense? Zeke? Hell no. Dak? No. Amari Cooper? No. I mean, they don't have Jason Witten anymore. I mean, Jason Witten was pretty much the leader on offense. No, they don't have one. Antonio Brown would destroy the Cowboys. They don't need it. It ain't worth it.
Could blow it up. Absolutely. If you want to say who could handle from a veteran presence standpoint having Antonio Brown on the field, the only one that I can think of outside of the quarterback that he just left would be Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
And Aaron Rodgers ain't that much. He's not that much of a leader.
He's the only one that I think theoretically Antonio Brown would look at and have some respect for. Okay, let's face it. If he looks at Dak and he looks at Aaron, which quarterback is he going to have more respect for?
Of course.
Not going to be close. Not going to be close. He's the only one that I can think of that would have a chance to possibly rein in that guy's personality. Look, they only need him for 6 weeks. And then they can let him go. Because look, who's the Packers' legitimate second threat on the team? At receiver, outside of Devontae Adams. Look, I know they've got Lazard and those guys, but I'm talking about true number 2 talent that still flashes number 1 talent. Look, Antonio Brown had 4 games of 90 yards catching or more out of 6 games played. Mm-hmm. I mean, in 3 of those games, he had over 100 yards. Yeah, they've got Aaron Jones and they got J.J. Dillon, but they're not wide receivers. We're not talking about that. At
this point, I don't even think the Packers will want him because the Packers got a good thing going on right now.
I don't think
why even bring him in?
I don't think the Packers would look at him. The only other team I can think of that might look at him would be the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only other team I think that might look at him, and that's
they already got another troubled receiver now on the team that probably could be gone in the blink of an eye, and Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Yep,
that's
right.
Now, Antonio Brown also made an appearance at the Brooklyn Nets game. That's not really the story here, though. But it does say Brown was spotted courtside at Barclays Center.
Oh, looking like Deion Sanders had a love child with Lawrence Taylor walking in. Oh man, that jumpsuit is priceless.
Yeah. But this is the interesting part right here in this article here.
Oh, fresh from a Run DMC concert, Antonio Brown stopped in at the Brooklyn Nets game. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Damn.
Here's the thing about this. In this article, it says Bucs coach Bruce Arians said Brown was no longer a Buck, but on Monday, the transactional process didn't seem as complete as Arians made it seem. When asked Monday, he said it was up to the GM, Jason Light, to make the decision. According to ESPN, the Buccaneers were talking with the NFL about how to move forward with Brown's situation. The wide receiver is sure to face some kind of discipline from the NFL. Is he? I mean, Bruce Arians now is throwing this on the general manager. But Bruce Arians made the decision, said he ain't a Buck anymore. But now he's saying it's on the GM.
Well, not only that, but you're asking the NFL to make a clear-cut call about who's right and who's wrong, when technically speaking, now you've got a situation where you've got one guy's word over the other. Which one do you necessarily believe? Because if you automatically believe Bruce Arians, you run the risk of the PA getting involved too, the Players Association. Because again, and I still think it's a ploy by him and his agent to get sympathy out of the situation, and maybe even get back some money in form of, I don't think this qualifies as like an injury settlement situation or anything. But
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. But why would they turn to the NFL to make a decision here? They can make him inactive.
They could suspend him themselves.
Well,
or they can cut him too. I don't understand why the NFL needs to get involved in this.
Look, we've got an example of exactly how to handle this. Look at what the Houston Texans have done with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that wasn't an NFL call.
They have made him inactive week in and week out every single week this year.
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid. Yeah, they're going to have to pay him. If they choose the inactive route, they'll have to pay him. And maybe that's the problem. But I don't exactly think Antonio Brown's on any kind of world-setting deal here. He can't get his incentives if he's on the bench. Okay, he can't get it in incentives, and I know they may not want to pay him, but what are you going to do? Release him? Cut him? Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Antonio Brown, but wait, you guys are the ones that said you were cutting him. Okay,
yeah.
and I know a lot of people really got triggered at me yesterday because I suggested that there was a chance that Bruce Arians might have lost his shit on the field and just said, "You're released, you're cut, get off the field." That quick, when maybe he doesn't have the authority to make that call, actually. Okay? He's not the general manager. He's not. In other words, Jason Light picks the groceries. To my knowledge, Bruce Arians does not have player personnel control on that level as the head coach. Yeah, some coaches do. Kyle Shanahan, he's the general manager in 49ers land. It's not John Lynch for the most part, except I think Trey Lance. But outside of that, and I think he got overruled by Jed York. But you get my point. He's not Bill Belichick. He's not Andy Reid. Okay.
But he did come out and tell the media he is not a Buck anymore. He made that choice unless he talked to Jason Light after the game. But we don't know that.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.